Now, another common position is when my opponent has me in a 2-on-1. Remember, his goal is to maintain as high position as he can on my shoulder, control this arm, maintain good head position inside, and also, as you'll notice here, because he's high on my shoulder, he's got a good angle. In other words, I'm not able to face him. So I need to do a couple of things in this situation. First, I need to do whatever I can to get my head in the inside. Second, I need to do whatever I can to get his grip further down my arm. Because if he has a good grip on my shoulder here and good head position here, it's very difficult for me to do most anything. Okay? He's in very favorable position. Now, what I need to do is I need to be able to get my shoulder to slide down a little bit. So he's lower on my arm. And I also need to get my head position. The other thing I need to do is try to square out in front as best I can. Can't even consider squaring out in front, though, until I can get him lower on my arm, and I can also get head position. So what I'm going to do to start out with, typically, in this position here, I'm going to hit him hard this way, and then try to get my shoulder. You'll see his head is blocked out pretty good, but if I can just get a little bit of space here, I push in and get a little bit of space, and that'll pop his head a little bit. He doesn't like that. And I'm going to try then to get my head where, not on the inside of his head, on his shoulder, to slide up. You'll notice I can do that if I was successful in getting a little bit of space and having his grip slide down my arm. I won't be successful in getting my head in good position here if I can't get him to lower his grip down my arm. In other words, if he maintains grip on my shoulder here high, it ain't going to happen. I don't have the space or the maneuverability here to get my head position proper. But if I can get my shoulder position a little out here so that his grip slid down my arm, now I can. And from this position, I want to, one, keep my head position good. I don't want to keep my head position low. I'll get snapped down. Keep my head position here. And I want to typically, from this position, jam in, keep my weight low, and I want to grab his elbow in this position here to square out. Now you'll notice here, see this grip here? Where am I coming to? Or where am I going? I can get a 2-on-1 on the opposite side. Again, the basic thing I want to do to get out of this position, which is a very unfavorable position to me, and all things being equal, probably want to put your bet on Colby at this point. But for me to be successful, I need to be able to get his grip down my arm slightly. I need to be able to get my head position on the inside, and I need to be able to come out in front. I'm first going to do that by, typically too, I'm going to be trying to control the wrist here, or to control the wrist. I want to get a little piece of him. Now, from here, if I give him a pop and then a shove, notice how I get my shoulder out. Colby's got me in here. I'm going to pop in, and his grip hopefully will come down. I may have to do it again. I may have to do it a couple times, but my goal is to get him from that good position high on my shoulder, slightly down my arm, and in that way I'll then be able to hopefully have enough space to get my head positioned properly, and as well as be able to scoot around out in front and face him more squarely. Once I'm in this position here, he's down, I've got head position here. What I want to do is grab right at his elbow, and I want you to notice the angle that I'm getting his elbow here. Now I'm not just pulling his elbow towards me, because I was just pulling his elbow towards me and retreating, for example, I'm not getting any pressure on him. As I'm pulling his elbow towards me, this hand here is pushing his wrist towards his body. And that's going to allow me to get a more favorable angle here. So as I'm pulling his elbow out like that, I'm getting additional leverage by pushing his wrist in with my other hand. One hand's pulling his elbow out, the other hand is pushing his wrist in. And that's going to allow, notice that kind of turns my body this way, that's going to give me some leverage and position to come around out to the side and ultimately square to Colby. That position I ended up in an underhook, of course. Again, as long as I can get the grip slightly down, the arm, head onto his deltoid, slide it up, and square out, I'll be in good shape. One caution, it's critical. As I'm coming around, I'm not lowering my head because I'll get beat in that position. So my head, you'll notice my head is right, my forehead is right into him. It's really crowding him. It's not down here. I'm making contact with my head against his chest here. It's more with my forehead as I'm pushing in. So it's crucial that you don't have your head too low. And as I'm lowering my level coming out front, notice my hips are coming down. I'm not lowering my level in this direction or this manner. As I'm preparing to do my defense against a 2-on-1, frequently I want to be covering this hand here. I don't necessarily want to be grabbing it hard here. I might get dragged, but I want to be in this position here so I can at least have some contact with this particular hand. And from this position, my goals are to be able to get his grip, lower down my arm, get my head inside, and come out in front. So again, what I'm working on in this position, once I've come out square, I'm going to pull his elbow, and to get to this position, I'm probably not going to be square from the get-go, so this helps me get square. You'll notice I'm pulling here. I'm pushing at the wrist here, which is going to help me maintain better position to where I can attack a 2-on-1 myself. Or in the midst of that, I can break away and get free and start from scratch.